Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So in this video today we'll be building this consecutive number sum calculator. But for this project I'll be breaking it into two videos. So this video I'll be showing you only the JavaScript and HTML part, and in the next video I'll show you how to add CSS to it to make it look nicer, like how it looks right now. So let's get started. I hope you guys are excited. So the first thing I'll do is get rid of all that code just like I did 2 seconds ago, and then generate my boilerplate code. And in between my two body tags I'm going to create a div and name it container, and inside this container I'll create an h1 and name it consecutive number calculator. And now if we save and refresh, we have that on our browser, which is great because now we're one step closer to being done. Well, at least for this video, because there's still part 2. But you know what I mean. And then I'll create an input, give it a type of number, and what this allows us to do is it'll give us these arrows that allow us to click up and down our number. And I'm going to give it a placeholder of enter a number, and then I'll create a button, name it ID button, and I'll just call it calculate. Pretty easy and simple. And then I'll create a div, give it an ID of result. And then outside of my container, I'm going to create two more divs. So I'll do div dot, which denotes class in HTML, and then the name of our class, which is circle, and then times 2. And then it just generated all of that for me without having to type as much as I had to, which is great. And now we can get started with our JavaScript. So basically I'm going to create a variable named button and store my button inside this variable, and then I'll give it an event listener, so button.add event listener, just like that. And then inside of the function I'm going to create a variable named input. So this variable input will store our input, whatever we typed into the input field. That's what it's going to store. And obviously we can't type anything besides numbers, because if I try typing in some letters like right now, nothing appears in our input. But if we try typing some numbers, it appears. It will work because this input only accepts numbers, no non-numerical values. And then I'll create a variable called result and set it to 0, because our calculation will start from 0. And then I'll create a for loop and initialize a variable called I and set it to 0. And if you guys don't know what for loops are, I'll have it linked in the cards below and you guys can go check that out. So while I is less than input, so basically this is saying while I is less than whatever number we passed into the input, then it's going to keep iterating through our loop. So I'm going to do result plus equals I. And then we want our function to return document.getElementById, and it's going to grab the result div, so it's this div right here, and then for its inner HTML it will be result. So let me explain what this line of code is doing. So after our function has run this for loop and then calculated the total sum of our calculation, it's going to set that to be the div's value. So that's why I'm doing document.getElementById and then the id.innerHTML. This should be all we need for the JavaScript. So let's test it out. So I can try typing in 10 and I should get 55. And nothing works. That's strange, but I may have misspelled something. That's probably why. Yep, there's 2 errors in my console, so let me go check and see what those errors are. So it says, cannot read property value of null at HTML button element, line 23. So if I go to line 23, I did var input equals document.getElementById num input, and the ID, I didn't even give our input an ID, which is why nothing is working. So I'll do ID equals num input, and now things should work now. So let's test it out again. So 5 should give me 15. Or how about 10? It should give me 55. Yes, everything's working just fine. So that's reassuring. And this is pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go check out my other videos, because I make a lot of CSS animation tutorials and JavaScript tutorials. So If any of those sound interesting to you, be sure to go check out those. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and like if you haven't already for more videos just like this. And other than this, I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope to see you again in my next video.